Hello, I'm the Zombie Prince, Dearil Ambrose, and I want to preface this clip by saying that while I do feel that what I talk about in this clip is incredibly, important and something I really wanted to talk about, it does also contain major spoilers for the game Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I wanted to get that out of the way, and so if you don't want that spoiled, that is your warning. When you stop and think about N's mental breakdown at the death of M, and admittedly, how long M was in a toxic relationship, admittedly. Like, it is horrifying. I mean, and even N going so far as to say Mio belongs to me and only me. That is horrible things. It really does show that N's thoughts on Mio went far out of the realm of love into the point of obsession and possession. Obsession and possession. It is horrifying. I feel like it's more horrifying because
Good to add more names.
Because, I mean, that's a realistic thing. That is, you can have your cartoonish supervillains and, destroy the world and all this, but I really do think the scariest villains are real. People that you could encounter in real life. Somebody that wants complete control over their partner is horrible. They're horrible people, and I don't feel bad about saying that. It's, I mean, if someone has to feel like they have to be in charge or in complete control of their partner, they're a horrible person. And that's why I don't feel bad about N's mental breakdown there. Because it's like Noah called him out for. He's like, you didn't try anything. You're just a coward, You didn't want to make the world a better place. You just wanted to have Mio. It's a very real problem in reality, in the real world. That is just... I really... It's kind of gross. And again, I know that online it's kind of a weird situation where some people are, defensive of N for reasons. And I cannot hold that viewpoint. Just because he viewed Mio as not really a love interest anymore, but as a possession. And that is... Mm-mm. I've known people like that, in my life. I have known people that see their partner as a possession, as a trophy, something to control rather than to love, and it horrifies me to see those people in reality. I've seen people I really deeply care about manipulated and hurt because of people that, view others as possessions. And I think that's kind of why this is really hitting me a lot harder now. Because a lot of those revelations in my life weren't really made. They hadn't come to fruition when I first played this game on release. And it's looking at it from my modern perspective, my right now, with all of that context of seeing, you know, relationships like that and people like that, I'm not even just talking romance. I mean friendships too. Like this can be, you know, this can apply to friendships, I guess. I mean, obviously here it is, you know, in the context of romance, but even in friendships, you can get so toxic and so possessive that you can, you know, stop seeing the person, the other person as an actual person. And it's gross. Like, I know that sounds very juvenile as a way to put it, and I feel like it, you know, out of context, it might sound like I'm diminishing the thing, and I'm definitely not. That's not who I am. But it horrifies me. Again, that's why it's hitting me so hard this time around. And yes, I am kind of just, you know, talking about this and running around just because I kind of need a minute to kind of, I guess, not come down, because that sounds like it's, you know, much more of a thing than it actually is. But I don't know. I want to get my thoughts out on, you know, Noah and Mio and M and N, where, you know, I do believe that N and M, their relationship did start as actual love. I do believe that that's kind of what you're meant to imply, what you're meant to, you know, infer, rather, not imply. And there's stuff said later that confirms that. But I think the idea is that N wanted more control over M. He felt like he was only to be his. And on this is gonna sound potentially weird. In wording, that sounds nice and sweet. You know, it's like a cute couple thing of, you know, I'm only yours and you're only mine, and it's a really sweet little adorable couple thing. But when that goes beyond, you know, the love meant of those words to literally no one else can have you but me, that's when it goes into the realm of the gross toxic relationship stuff that I've been talking about. And that is why I think N is probably one of my favorite villains from this series. Because like I said at the start of this, I mean, you can have your amazing supervillains that want to, you know, destroy the world or control the world. And that's fine. I mean, that's great for stories. It's amazing because, I mean, it gives you an obvious goal to fight against. But, like, a real personality that is just downright despicable and evil and gross, fighting against that and having a character portray that, I feel is so much more impactful and scary and, you know, much more of a threat. Because it is something that people can experience and encounter on a daily basis. Like, in real life. And not on a daily basis, but some people do. I mean, there are people that are stuck in toxic relationships that do experience that. That's why it hurts so much when, you know, M wants to die to get out of it. She wants to find a way to escape that. And, you know, for her, it was quite literally death. And not... how do I want to say this? That is something that I think a lot of people in real life can start to think. You know, and some people do take that option, and it hurts to even really think about, because, I mean, if you fall out of love with someone to the point of obsession and possession, you should know, I guess, when it's time to stop. I guess that's not the right words, but it's a difficult subject for me, and I don't really know if I'm talking about it properly, so I think I'm just gonna call it for that. And continue the actual game story.
Good to add more names.
But yeah, let's just head up here.